Ladies and gentlemen, Warrior Nation, we have Jade.
Hey.
Jade, pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I wanna get to the big stuff a little bit later, because I know there's some things that everyone is dying to hear you talk about after the events of Livewire. But before that, November 6th, you're going to the Titan.
Yes.
To defend the honor of Warriors of Wrestling, competing against Valentina Vasquez. So I want to ask you, what does it mean to you to be going to the homestead of the other promotion that has been antagonizing us, that has been endangering our safety? What does it mean to you to be going there, to their home turf, and to be defending this company that we all love and work for?
Well, they've been invading us, and I'm the first girl to actually go there and defend Warriors, so I'm pretty excited for that. I can defend Warriors. They've been invading us constantly, so it's pretty cool to be the first female to do that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I wonder what it'll be like for you in enemy turf, right? Given that you're going to their show rather than vice versa. I wonder how it's gonna feel in a crowd, in a locker room that may be hostile to you. Do you have any concerns about that? Or are you just laser focused on going in there and defending this thing?
I'm pretty laser focused on defending it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We need heavy hitters like you on the front line of this thing if we're gonna make a dent against Titan.
A lot of other people from Warriors have been going there. I'm the first female.
First female, hell yeah. So I know this might be tough to talk about, but we gotta get into it at some point. The Warrior Nation is dying to hear about it. I'm dying to hear about it, to be honest with you. Livewire. You accept Nikki Adams' open challenge for the Women's Championship. So I wanna ask first, actually, before we even get to the rest of what happened, what was it like to share the ring with Nikki Addams, one of the greatest champions, bar none, in the history of this company? Were you nervous? Did you feel like you belonged in that position? Were there big fight feel nerves getting to you? What was it like to be in that match?
So, of course I was nervous, but I felt like I had it. And then everything happened with Max and Roger, and Nikki knocked the ref out. And I was this close to winning.
I know.
And then my former members of the cause, Max Bane and Roger, turned on me after all I've done for them. Like, Roger, I've done so much for him throughout his whole title reign, and he would cut me off, he would yell at me, he would abuse me, and Max just stood there, didn't do anything. And Max was my friend. Max was like a really close friend of mine, and they both just turned on me in my match. And I would have won if it wasn't for them.
You had a fair shot, it looked like. You were going in there, someone who's still, fairly new to Warriors, putting up a hell of a fight against such an established champion like Nikki Adams. I was there for commentary that night. You could watch it back, and when Roger came out and cost you that match, my heart just broke for you, because I really felt like that was a big moment for you to shine, and then it was just ripped away from you completely by people that were supposed to be your friends and your teammates. So I guess we're talking about it. Let's get to it. It's hard for me to even talk about how brutal that scene was. Did you see it coming? Did you have a feeling that things were going south with you, Max and Roger, or was that something that's...
So things started going south after Roger lost his belt. He started to get more aggressive with me. He would yell at me, he would cut me off when I was talking, he pushed me, and I was doing things more independently. So when Roger came out to help me up, which I really thought he was helping me out, he wasn't, and he turned on me, so I didn't expect it, but I did know things were going south.
Did you think they were going that south that quickly?
No.
I don't think anyone did. It was truly a brutal scene. If you haven't watched it, warriorswrestling.com. So I'm glad you brought up that things started going south when Roger lost the championship. And I'm going to ask Roger and Max this question too. I'm having them on a little bit later. So do you think that when Roger lost the championship, around that same time is when there started to be this kind of groundswell of support for you from the Warrior Nation, right? Even despite you helping Roger interfere in his matches, helping him win matches, despite you being a pretty villainous character out there, despite all that, the Warrior Nation still seems to take a serious liking to you. King of New York, when you competed in that Fatal 4-Way, it seemed like that skyrocketed through the roof. And then in that match against Nikki Adams, it was through the roof. That place was electric, wanting you to win. So what I'm wondering is, and I'm going to ask Roger this later too, is do you think there was any jealousy at play there, with Roger's momentum kind of slipping and yours on the rise?
Yes. So when Roger lost the belt, all he wanted was to get the belt back. He didn't care about me or Max at all. So if Max were to get that belt, I'm sure he'd turn on Max too. And me going for it, yeah, Roger was jealous. That's why he turned on me, because he wanted it. I mean, I'm not saying he wanted the women's title, but he wanted his belt back.
He wanted the glory. He wanted the fame that he
to be
didn't want you to have.
Yeah.
That's such a shame. It truly broke my heart to see that such a promising young group, right? Because you guys, all three of you, and I don't mean to praise your betrayers in front of you like this, but I think you'd agree when I say that all three of the members of the cause have such bright futures. All three of you do, and I thought you could have taken over the world together, and it just shattered me to see that. So now, Intergender Warfare, November 13th, you have a chance to get a little bit of comeuppance. Is there anything you want to say to Roger and Max? Because I'm sure they'll be watching this. I'm sure they're going to be watching every move you make leading into that match, so I'm sure their eyes are glued to the screen right now hearing what you have to say. Is there anything you want to say directly to them leading into this match at Intergender Warfare? You, Joey B, and Kuda Montana versus the cause, Max Bane and Roger Mendez and Nikki Adams.
Roger and Max are going to regret ever interfering with my match and ever turning on me. And Nikki Adams, she's going to regret it too, because I was this close to winning, and she should be scared.
Do you think if you had another chance at Nikki, that maybe this time without the interference of your former teammates, do you think you could take it home in another match? Do you think you could win that championship if you were to get a rematch?
Yeah. The only reason I think it didn't happen was because Max and Roger just decided to jump me in the middle of my match.
I would agree.
Nikki, they all did.
And so did that add insult to the injury to see Nikki Adams join in on the fun like that, to see them join in on to see her join in on the beatdown like that? What do you think, there was any animosity from her and any jealousy from her? Because years ago she was very much in your position, right? Young, up and coming, promising competitor in the women's division. Do you think maybe that jealousy was part of why she chose to join in on the beatdown too?
Yeah, I almost beat her. I think she was scared.
I like that. I like the confidence that we're seeing. So Jade is now a singles competitor. I think it's safe to say. Going forward now, what is Jade bringing to Warriors of Wrestling? What is Jade going to do as a singles competitor? How are you going to make your mark here as a singles competitor? What are your plans going forward?
I'm going for the women's title. I'm going for the women's title.
I love it.
As soon as I take care of Roger and Max.
I think that has to come first. I think settling that vendetta has to come first.
Right.
It's only sensible, yeah. And then after that, got flies in here. After that, your sights are set on the women's championship on Nikki Adams.
Yes.
I love that. I love the confidence. I love the conviction. Jade, it's been such a pleasure to have you on. First guest in Weekly Warrior wrap-up history. It's been such a pleasure. Is anyone listening that shouldn't be? I'm looking forward to seeing you get your revenge. I'm looking forward to seeing you kick some ass.
Me too.
Hell yeah. I'll see you there.